Welcome to Emerald YouTube channel. In this video, I'm going to explain about the barriers of communication. In communication, obviously, this is a very important topic since it carries more significance in order to be a better speaker. So, barriers of communication. What is a barrier which is a hurdle or a hindrance for the communicator, that is sender either or the receiver? So let us explain, or let me explain the barriers of communication in the following slides. So observe the video carefully and try to uh, consciously try to rectify if you have any of the barriers and be a better or eminent speaker and writer. So, barriers of communication, as I introduced, hinders or dilute the flow of communication is called a barrier. So, barrier is nothing but which hinders, that is, disturbs or dilute the flow of communication, and it may arise out of authority, status difference, reporting relationships, culture, and background of individuals. These may arise when we are talking about an organization. That is why I have mentioned in an organizational context. And in general, the barriers may arise out of behavioral differences in skills and understanding, as well as physical factors. So this we will go further in and it may arise out of an illegible handwriting or legible handwriting, spellings and legibility in written communication. So when you are trying to project what your mind is perceiving or conceiving, that time if your writing means, that time if your handwriting is very illegible, that on with a lot of spelling errors, that time it will be a barrier for the reader. And finally, in oral communication, it may arise out of the absence of felicity of expression, that is, poor expression, poor accent, speed of delivery. Actually, when there are some good speakers who will deliver very fastly the message or the conveying the idea, so that time it may not get the audience understanding. And appropriateness of the language, this means as the whole India is now talking about Hindi, this and also it may arise out of the appropriateness of the language also barrier. And coming to the first and foremost barrier, poor expression. So poor expression, the barriers relating to expression result in poorly expressed messages. Okay, since with a lot of errors or with a lot of mistakes and lack of conceptual skills, that is, lack of conceptual skills result in inadequate or incomplete shaping of the idea. So if a person who is not good at concept, that what he is conveying about all about, that time if he is lacking on that particular topic or in the concept, it will be inadequate for the audience. And lack of clarity and ambiguity result from limited word power. So if you are not good at vocabulary, that time you will be saying the same thing. So that time you may lack clarity as well as ambiguity, there is confusion. And if the words and thoughts are not organized properly, so imagine that if I am giving my own example, if I am going to explain barriers of communication but I am talking something else, so I am talking something else, like how to apply for a job or about a resume preparation. That time if I am not organized properly, that time also the speaker the audience may not perceive the content properly. And then there is a lack of structural balance will arise. And obviously such poor expression of thoughts, even our ideas, always leads to incorrect, incomplete and incoherent messages. And poor expression is likely to occur under the following circumstances. Like for example, when a person is ill also, that is, if you have a seminar or presentation, on the same day you have a high fever or a severe headache, that time you will be in a situation to not to convey your ideas clearly. And when a person is fatigued is something related to your health again. And when a person is under severe stress and nervousness, like I am going to talk before 100 people, or I am going to have something today to talk about which I don't know. So like that stress may arise out of various factors. And also when the person is under the influence of alcohol, so that time he may be in a situation to blabber something irrelevant. So these are very true when it comes to both oral and written communication. And then the next barrier after poor expression is faulty transmission. So faulty transmission is when it comes to transmitting the message. So this often occurs in many places. Like for example, even you can relate it with the student community. Like for example, the HOD or the head of the department may give a instruction in a way to a particular class leader, but the class leader may come and tell you something else. So that time the transmitting of messages differs from person to person. And also in organization, the head of the department or your superior supervisor, anyone who is a higher official, may give you a set of instructions to be adhered or to be followed, but the person who is reporting to the particular higher official may come and say or write something indifferent. So this not always occurs, but this also will be a barrier for communication. So faulty transmission, that is what is given in the particular picture also. So kindly read it and then try to understand. And also, like when we are transmitting the message from person to person, we can have our own ideas, like our own bias, feelings, perceptions. So like that, so it may dilute the particular flow of communication. And then the third point is indifference and lack of interest. This we can always see in many of our own student community. Like when the lecturer or the speaker who is coming and talking about a topic, that time the students or the audience will be simply sitting and yawning and then peeping out of the window. So like that, these are all will be lack of interest. So that time the speaker as well as the person who is trying to convey their idea may stumble by seeing the expressions of the audience. So at that time lack of interest will again act as a barrier. And indifference is showing something very indifferent. Why you can go ahead, I will be always like this, like that mindset will be considered for the disturbance to disturb the flow of communication. And again, it is the enthusiasm of the communicator also it lies. Like if the teacher is or the person who is talking, it doesn't have anything to talk, that time the speaker lacks expertise or credibility, obviously the audience receptivity also will wane. So this is what I have given in this particular picture. So kindly read it. And then the next barrier is noise. So noise is always disturbs the flow of communication. Imagine this would have happened earlier also. If you are writing in an examination hall near to a big palace or mahal or even a wedding place, that time you will be often disturbed with the noise or the songs that they have played. So this often arises out of festivals, temple time and all. If we have exams, we will be disturbed by the noise. So this is also making the recipient to fails to receive the oral messages sent by the communicator. And it may affect the the written communication, as it is diluting your concentration and also the flow of thoughts. So this also will be again considered as yet another barrier. And then the physical factors. So physical factors, we all been familiar with this physical factors, like our telephone is not working, our email is not getting connected, so photocopying machine is under repair, so printing machine is getting stuck. So like that, these are all the factors which affects the communication physically. Like if you wanted to take or talk about take a page print out, that time you will be failed, means the communication fails there. And The same as well as with a mic also. Sometimes if the mic is not working, the speaker will be tend to perform poorly. So these are all the physical factors to fails to reach the target audience. Okay, so non-availability of meeting rooms and failure of any equipment for that matter, even a power shutdown. This also will be acting as the physical factor or a barrier that dilutes the flow of communication. And people related factors, this I can give you a familiar example or a very famous example, I would say. When you can see when hero or the heroines actors who will be about to approach the audience, when they are about to talk, the audience side will be coming with a sound saying loudly their name or a dialogue. That time it's like a people related factor, so the people or the audience are disturbing. So and also in hierarchical position, as I have already mentioned in my introduction, it may be people will be having bias or even fear. So like that it will disturb the free flow of communication. And also if in a company or in a big organization, it may arise out of different employees, that is they will be from language, different regions, cultural background, rural urban origin, that psychological, linguistic and cultural barriers may also arise. For example, if a guy from a Kerala is posted in a down south village in Tamil Nadu, imagine how he would have managed with the people who are coming to his office. So how he or she will be approaching the customers. So imagine, this is how people related factors are also disturbs the organizational climate, as well as it is acting as a barrier. So this is how you have to identify before going or talking with a big audience, or even you are going to write any thing, report or exam. So you need to possibly identify, recognize and also foresee the prevalence of barriers and take necessary active action. So with conscious effort, I would say, you have to overcome these barriers in order to be a better speaker. And what to say, this always relates with oral, written and also non-verbal communication. So by the way, people giving some expressions, like I have already given poor expression. And also when a person is not feeling well, the visually they will be having a non-verbal cues to the audience that he or she is not good at presenting the topic. So to make a meaningful and effective presentation or to be an eminent speaker, try to identify these barriers and try to overcome it. Thank you for watching this video, and please do share it with your student community, and this will be acting as a notes also for the important essay type question, what are the barriers of communication, where many colleges are having the paper called communication, business communication, managerial communication. So obviously this will be an essay type question, so kindly take notes based on this video also. This I have referred from many books, especially Madhukar's book on communication. Thank you, and who are yet to subscribe this channel, kindly do subscribe it. Thank you for watching once again.